Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for joining us for another episode and what promises to be another inspiring episode in the Clarendon Youth in Action series here on the Serenity Resource Connector, brought to you by our program partners, Serenity Consulting Services, Sha-Gore Aggregates Limited, Cousins Construction Services Limited, and National Self-Serve Wholesale. I am Winsome Sharia Witter, founder of Serenity Consulting Services, host and producer for the Serenity Resource Connector. Whether you're joining us live or you're watching the replay, or if this is your first time tuning in, a warm welcome to you. So, on this episode, we are going to be having discussion with three of Clarendon youth ambassadors. And to get the discussion rolling this evening, I'm going to bring on my first guests who seem to be having a bit of technical challenge at this time. So we are going to flip the script a bit and bring on our cultural ambassadors in the person of Miss Clarendon Festival Queen 2022, Sheri-Gaye Johnson.
Good evening. Good evening.
And you can tell, even if you weren't at the show, you can tell that Sheri-Gaye loves the arts just by her response just now, right?
Yes.
Right. Yes. So Sheri-Gaye believes that in whatever we do, we should ensure that you're always an asset, never a liability. So we ought always to be adding value, right, Sheri-Gaye?
Indeed, that is correct.
All right. So joining Sheri-Gaye is our first runner-up, Sasha-Kae Bernard. Sheri-Gaye and Sasha-Kae. Wow, I love that. Yes. And Sasha-Kae believes that we ought to start unknown but finish unforgettable.
Is right.
Of excellence, right?
Yes. I believe we need to make our mark. We'll always remember that name, Sasha-Kae Bernard.
All right. Leaving a legacy and a tangible one. All right. Great. Wow. All right. Great evening to you, Judith Forbes, Chrissy Barnes. All right. All right. Your peeps are in the virtual building already. Looking forward to the discussion. Okay. So let's get the discussion going. All right. Are we hearing clearly and ready to roll?
Yeah, you're good.
All right. Amazing. All right. So I'm not sure how many of our persons noticed, but on the night of the coronation, when that nail biting section came about, both of you selected questions that aligned with your current areas of study. Am I right? I believe, if my memory serves me right, Sasha-Kae, you got a question regarding some logistics related thing with Clarendon. Sheri-Gaye, you got something having to do with marketing in terms of how you would market something about Clarendon. And I found that rather fascinating. What was going through your mind when you saw the question? Sheri-Gaye, starting with you.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. That was the first thing that went through my mind. I, however, had to calm down, take a few seconds and try to answer the question as efficiently as I possibly could. Luckily for me, the brain works. So I was able to answer the question. And based on the responses, persons were satisfied with the answer that I gave to the question. I have a crown and God is good. That's what I can say. God is good. But marketing and IMC, because I do study integrated marketing communication. being asked that question kind of push forward what I really want to do as an ambassador for the culture, as an ambassador for Clarendon, and of course for Jamaica, marketing what we have here. Because
Yes,
a lot of persons tend not to realize how we're literally sitting on a gold mine.
indeed.
We may not have certain resources, but the things that we do have here, persons want it globally. So if we can really and truly tap into what we have, trust me when I say, if we capitalize on it and exploit it like we should be, good
Yes.
God, Jamaica and Clarendon by extension is going to be a lot more wealthy, not only as it relates to economics, but of course to the appreciation of our culture. Yeah.
In, indeed, indeed. Sasha-Kae, what about you? What went through your mind?
I could not find the words. You not. When I saw the question, I read it twice. And then, funny enough, I remember in practice, it kind of aligned with some of the things that we spoke about, and I was so passionate about it when I was speaking. Everybody was looking like, yes, that you have a point there. But at the night, the words were just not coming to me. But I said, you know what? I'm just going to let it flow and see what I need to see, because these are things that are happening in our society. I take up the phone, I look on Instagram, it's all I'm seeing. I'm reading the comments and seeing what's happening. So it's not like it was foreign to me. I'm seeing it happen. My best friend is
Right?
a teacher. My mother is a teacher also. So, I mean, this is something I'm passionate about, talking about the teachers and the students and the whole conflict that's happening in front of us. Trust me, it was something I was passionate about. And I believe that as just as how logistics will fall into places, that you have to have strategies to see how you will be able to accomplish, to, to, to to lessen these factors that are happening in school. I mean, teaching is one of the basics. That's the first profession we have learned as kids. Not even what our mommy and daddy does, but
No,
definitely teacher, because we go
teacher.
school and we see teacher.
That's it.
So the respect for the profession is not there anymore, and we really need to bring that back, especially here in Clarendon. And I hope that we can be the front runners for the other parishes to look at us and say, yes, I think this can work for the other parishes too.
All right. And with the way you all represented, I have no doubt that we can do it. Right. But I believe that you all did really well. Both of you really answered your questions really well. And obviously the judges thought so too, because here you are, Miss Clarendon Festival Queen 2022 and her first runner-up, right? With a lot of things to do, right? Right. So that's really, really great. So before all of that happened, one of the things that I realized is that over the years is that we have different patrons coming to the shows and they see the whole highlights, all of those practice, they didn't see all the practicing that took place and all of those little things and so on, right? But importantly, the section that weighs heavily on who actually walks away with the crown at the parish level and the national level is in terms of your community involvement.
Right.
And many people didn't have know about that except for those in your circle. So we want to share a little bit of that because as I was sharing with you earlier, I paid attention to the profiles. Right. And I realize that you all have been very active, not just in high school, but from primary school. You've been very active and you've been very consistent in your activities, your involvement in different areas that you've been serving in. So let's go with Sasha K. Boy, Sasha K. I just want to hear this part, before we get to it. Before we get to that, you're a past student of Denby High School,
Yes, I am.
right? You're still at Caribbean Maritime.
No, I'm actually a graduate of
You're a
the
graduate.
one. Yes,
All right. Congratulations. Oh yes, you are working now. You're
yes, I
working
am.
now. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Awesome. Right. and you have been very involved. School board mentor, member of the critical management team, student council president at Denby High School, and these were all concurrently. So you were serving in all three capacities
at once.
at the
Exactly.
same time, right? So, school board member, what's that?
All right. So first of all, when you have gotten the position of being student council president, that is one of your responsibilities to serve as a member of the board
Okay,
in so you're representing the student. So the
right,
students have to be a part of the board too. So
all
I
right,
was the millions of students of Denby High School. I was their single and one representative there at the board.
the
So that's
voice.
how I became a member of the board. Right. And
Awesome.
the other things kind of flow into each other because the critical management team is actually part of being a board member. So they kind of take time, just they flow into each other, to be honest with you.
Okay,
So
so it's like a subcommittee of the board.
right. So
All right,
on all those positions at once. So anytime, any meeting, anything like that, after I finish classes, I'll have to head to the boardroom. I'm leaving school at 6, 7 o'clock, and school ends at 2, 3, no. So I'm
right,
there at 6, 7 o'clock, ensuring that I know what's going on. So I will be able, if a student stop me, I'll be able to speak and say, this is what's going on in our community, in our environment as a school together. Students who are probably in the wrong, you're going to be expelled. I have to be notified first to let me know what are the circumstances surrounding this stuff. Because if I could speak for that student, that's what I'm there for.
that's right.
Right? Mhm. So yes, and I before on it I was the student council, I was a vice president. So, initially I really wanted to be president. So after getting vice president, did it
Yes,
again, I said, come on, guys. We need the support we need to represent our students.
right. All a part of God's perfect timing. Nothing before its time. Yes, I'm sure you did extremely well when you eventually got there, because you would have got some real great training, eh?
Yes.
Yes.
Because I mean
Ah,
the position before and you were able to watch the person who was president before you.
that's
Right?
it.
Whatever they had going on, you should just be able to follow through and to even do better.
Indeed. Right, because we're building on,
Yes,
right?
we are.
Yes. Sheri-Gaye, when you came on, I thought you should know that you're just engraved in the arts, the culture, and all of those things. When you look at Sheri-Gaye's profile, it's JCDC, JCDC, JCDC.
Yes, yes,
I wouldn't be
definitely.
surprised if you end up serving on the JCDC commission
That's
team.
a part of the plan for
The
the
plan.
future. No?
All right.
Definitely,
All right. We're
definitely.
declaring it. I'm
Yes.
agreeing with you on that one. Yes, it will happen. Right. So you are a past student of the Glenmuir High School.
And you got it right. I love that. The Glenmere High School. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, I had to make sure I get it right, because yeah,
Yes.
when Dr. Smalling it's the Glenmuir High School.
The
So
Glenmere High School.
all
Yes.
right. Yeah, so we have two Glenmuir High School past students that's here with us on this episode. All right, but you'll see the other one a little while. So
Yes.
Sheri-Gaye, you're involved in music club. What else? School speech and drama. What other area were you in, Sheri-Gaye?
All right, so let's see if I can list everything from my memory. So, I was the vice president of the Glenmere High School Choir. I was involved in the music club. I was involved in the speech and drama club. I was a treasurer for peer educators. I was a youth assisting youth mentor, an academic mentor. I was also, during my period in high school, I was a part of the Office of the Children's Advisory Member Panel. Lord, I hope I remember it properly. Yes, I was also my earlier part of high school, a part of the netball team, and of course throughout the time. church is definitely something that has been core from first price. So from the beginning of high school up until now, I have been the youth leader for my church. And coming up to university, I have joined. I'm a member of the Jamaica Youth Chorale. Currently at UE, I serve as the Deputy Vice President of Membership for the UE Stat. UE students today, alumni tomorrow represent the Vice Chancellor, just to give you a summary. And I am also a project assistant for the philanthropic arm of the humanities faculty, which is the EAC, External Affairs Commission. That's just to put everything in a nutshell. I know I'm leaving out some things, but I'm a little bit tired, so the brain isn't working like it should be. But that's almost everything in a nutshell.
Sheri-Gaye, I'm sure there are others who want to find out how did you do all of that, because you were doing in high school, you had a lot going on. When you moved over to university, you picked up another group of functions that you're doing. All of them actually ties in with where you're heading in terms of your marketing, your communications.
Right.
I got it right, eh?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes. So for those persons who are saying, boy, I can't even keep up with my studies much more to take on all of these things. How were you able to do it?
So a fun fact about me, I don't play about my rest. I love to sleep. But it is possible, Sasha. It is possible once you prioritize and you balance to, of course, manage everything. First and foremost, it is God. Yes, if it had been for Him, I promise you, I would not have been able to manage everything. And there's a running message that I have among my peers at school now, and it is to take up space in whatever you are doing, wherever you are planted. Take up space, because I'm very big on purpose and big on contributing positively to whatever environment I am in, hence my philosophy. So that is why I have been in a lot of activities, and I'm also very, very, very big on academics. Because if you do not have sense, if you don't have your education, there are certain places you will not be invited into or be able to go into to make that impact that you want to make in life. So it's balance, it's prioritizing, and it's putting everything in God's hand. Because if it's God's will for you, regardless of how hard the situation may be, trust me when I say you are going to be able, some way, somehow, to achieve it. That's how I did it. Yes.
Only by His grace.
Only by His grace.
Amen. All right. I hear the choir coming on there. All right. Sasha, Sasha-Kae. Well said. All right. Chrissy Barnes, Color Red, Romeo. Michael Thomas, thank you. Thank you for joining. Simone Brown, Jason Tomlinson. Thank you all for tuning in and supporting our awesome ambassadors who are taking up space. Yes.
Yes.
And for those of you who follow Terry Carell Reed, you know that Sheri-Gaye is.
Aww.
Yeah,
She's
it's
who I look up to, actually. In my profile, she was a Jamaican woman who I really and truly admire a lot, and who has, of course, inspired me. So you saying that just made my entire week, not even the night, the week.
yes, I noticed you had a whole essay.
Yes.
Great stuff though, because you are indeed walking the walk and talking the talk, and that's why you both are sitting here as the cultural ambassadors for the parish of Clarendon, right? And Sheri-Gaye is aspiring to be the cultural ambassador for Jamaica for 2022, and we are going to go out and support Sheri-Gaye in Kingston as she vie for the national crown. Okay, all right. Sasha-Kae. All right. The question now. Sasha-Kae was Miss Mineral Heights Primary. You were first runner-up for Miss Denby High. And you are Miss Caribbean Maritime University. Well, were, because you're no longer there.
Yes. I'm still the reigning queen, though, you know.
You're still the reigning queen, so you need to go
Yeah.
and hand over the
No,
crown.
because
Get to
I
keep
won
it.
2019, and you know COVID hit in 2020. So there haven't been a Miss CMU since then. So I'm still the reigning queen.
Oh, the longest reigning queen for.
Yes.
Look at that. Look at that.
Yes.
So you were no stranger to this whole pageant thing when you entered Miss Clarendon Festival Queen.
No, I wasn't. That's all. Not my first rodeo.
How different or similar was it for you?
um, uh, to me, it was much more challenging in a sense. I mean, all these ladies were immaculate. Trust me, they were well read. Um, they took teaching, and you have a lot of persons that they don't want nobody to tell them anything. But these ladies, they took teaching, they took telling, and everybody was just friends. It was just so fun. Like I couldn't
So
even grasp
teachable.
to say that one of us is going to win, one is going to come second, one is going to come third. Am I not going to see these ladies again anymore? So it was fun even though I thought it was challenging, and then I was working and then leaving from work, going to practice and stuff like that. But to be honest, being a part of Miss Clarendon Festival Queen was always a childhood dream for me.
Wow.
So, because going to Minor Heights Primary, our dance teacher at the time, she used to take us to the JCDC office when it's this time to teach the young ladies the dance piece. So the opening piece, we would
Yes.
teach them the dinky minis, the brookings. We were the little ones she would take behind her to teach them. So I always saw these ladies, and I'm like,
Ah,
one day, when I'm finally at that age, I believe I will definitely be a part of it. So the item that used to be performed at Miss Carnival Festival Queen was from Mineral Heights Primary, and I was that one
I
on the stage
remember.
with pictures, all of that same way, because it was always a part of my childhood, seeing persons become Miss Carnival Festival Queen. Even my best friend was Miss Carnival Festival Queen for 2012. So she also inspired me too, and she was the one who really told me and said, yes, this is the
Mm-hmm.
time, we're
Okay.
going to do this. So, yes, so this was something that I was going to do, regardless of anything else. This was something I wanted to do. And
You're living out your dream.
living out my dream, and I'm content and I'm happy. And Sheri-Gaye, while you're in Kingston, I'll be holding it down for you in Clarendon till you get back home.
Oh,
Yes, so it's actually a part of my dream, and I'm really happy that I did it. I love the ladies that I met. Really nice ladies, trust me, really nice ladies. We have a lot of fun together. Um,
yes.
but all in all, this is my dream, and I've accomplished it, so I can tick it off the list and on to the
Checked.
next.
Yeah, that feels nice. Checking it off the list, right? S- Okay, so it's because of those different individuals that you have seen and been a part. That's what inspired,
Right,
right?
that's what
Because
we
you've
have.
yes, and you have been doing your thing straight through, building your confidence along the way, and all of that. So that
Yes, yes,
really,
because I started with the mini Miss Mineral Heights. That was my first pageant ever, the first public setting for me. And I think I enjoyed it so much. Doing the talent piece and dancing and all that. I loved it. So I'm like, all
okay.
right, yes, I won this one. So I won that one in, what year was it? I don't think, but, but yeah, I won that one.
Some year ago.
So I won that one. I was like, yes, this is fun. And then I went on to high school, and I tried out in grade 10, to be honest. And I think I came fourth, if I'm not wrong. And I realized that even though you won in primary school, you still have a lot of work to do. As it
Right.
pertains to answering a question, your confidence, the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you articulate yourself, you still need a little working on. Because
Yes.
sometimes you do things, and because it was done good and you feel nice, you feel like you reach. But really and truly, you haven't. There's still a lot of work that can be done,
Right.
right?
Always room for growth.
Always room for growth. So I tried again when I was in sixth form, and I was the first round. And I was like, all right, so that means that you came first round. So there's still room for improvement somewhere along that line. And I also did a Mr. and Miss Jamaica High School within that
Yes.
same time period too. And that was good. The thing is, for Mr. and Miss Jamaica High School, the first prize was a scholarship to go to the Caribbean Maritime University. It was.
Wow.
So I was like, all right, God, let's do this. And I
Yes.
did not win to get the scholarship. And I was like, okay, no problem, that's fine. Because really and truly, my dream was to actually to go to Karimak, to do
Okay.
media. That was what I really wanted to do. But um, honestly, my parents don't have it like that for me to say, all right, they're going to pay a full tuition, they're going to do this, da da da. No. But I said, all right, God, we are going to do this because I have to go to university. I have to do
Yes.
this.
Yes.
So I went to sixth form, and in being president of the student council, all that, and being a part of the board, that's how I got the opportunity of a full scholarship to go to the Caribbean Maritime University.
All right. And we pause here too, because these are some of the key points that I want as takeaway for young people, because it doesn't matter where you start, and your parents might not be in a position to, but each of us has something inside us, something unique that we can use to chart that course. Because one of the things that's very pronounced in most, if not all, the conversations that I've had since this series started in terms of the youth leaders in Clarendon, is that doors have been opened. Why? Because you open yourself to serve others. I've seen it in my own journey where doors have opened without me even pushing, because you stop to serve others, right? So, and when Christina comes on, you'll hear more about that, right? It's very, very important that we don't miss that point. And there's still time for you to go to Karamak.
Yes,
You
that's
can still do it.
I'm not throwing away that dream.
No, no, no. Keep it on your list. There's
I'm
still
not
time.
throwing it
There's
away.
nothing like God's timing, right, Sheri-Gaye? All right,
Amen, amen, amen.
right. And that brings us to you, Sheri-Gaye. Korean and French. French, I get, but Korean? Why Korean?
So as you said before, you can see that I am a lover of the arts, and
Yes.
I refuse to limit myself solely to what I can clearly understand. I have
Mhm.
always been fascinated by persons who speak multiple languages. If I hear that you can speak multiple languages, I am immediately intrigued. So that was something that I have wanted to do. Now, why Korean? Two things. They have a very popular musical genre now, which is K-pop, and I found myself very much fascinated by the songs, how they would, and the dedication that they give to their art. No, I'm someone that is big on it takes a lot of persons don't realize, but it takes 5 months of preparation for a 1 hour show.
Oh,
For a
yes.
1 hour show. A lot of persons don't realize a lot of the times the preparation is much more than what the outcome is or that big show is. So when I see, and these are persons that end up motivating me as well. So it was that factor and their values that really drew me to the language and their culture in general. So because of that, I said to myself, I don't want to have to watch the K-pop songs or Korean things on YouTube or even the K-dramas and not be able to understand anything, and I have to just look at the subtitles alone. So because of that, I said, okay, you know what? I want to dedicate myself to learning this language as well. Because imagine if others can just see me and when I introduce myself, I say, "Annyeonghaseyo," and you're like, what? Yes, I said I have to learn this language. So I dedicated and I wanted to, of course, improve my discipline because as Ambitious as I may seem, I do struggle with being disciplined at times and really and truly say, putting my foot down and saying it's time to dedicate myself to this. So I said I wanted to test how disciplined I could be in committing myself to something. And I downloaded the Duolingo app. That was just the intro thing now. I downloaded the Duolingo app and I said, okay, I'm going to take at least 5 minutes out of my day to try and go through some words, go through grammar, go through the characters because it's not A, B, C, D anymore. It's characters. Go through that and see if I can learn it. And I had the continuous streak of over 300 days. So I say, you see this, Sherry? You can be disciplined. Yeah, you can be disciplined. And when I say certain things to mommy or I say certain things to daddy and they don't understand, but I sound sensible, I love that for me. So that is why I chose to learn Korean. Also, the way the world is going, being multifaceted in languages is very important, especially if I want to be a cultural ambassador. Now, can you imagine me going to Korea? Or I want to learn Chinese someday too. Me going to China. And I don't have to have a translator behind me, but I can stand on my own 2 feet, go into any boardroom, go into any meeting, and be able to converse easily, fluently with the natives of that country. How much respect that would draw,
Oh,
and how that would just better brand Jamaica to show that hello, the base started down here. So that's why, of
right.
course, I also want to continue to learn languages. I put a pause on it because things got a bit overwhelming with the many pursuits that I've had, but I'm taking it back up very, 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 very soon because I just stopped like March ago, like March. So it's not very long. I'm still very fresh. Don't worry. Yes.
All right. All right. I hope we have got all those gems right. The Sheri-Gaye was being very open about it. That
Yes.
no matter how we show up and you see us doing our stuff, there are times when we struggle with being disciplined because there is some down time where you just want to do something else.
Yes.
You have you know what you want and you want to reach out and put in, and it's those small incremental consistent steps that gets you there. It's not the big leaps. You
Mm-mm.
get tired quickly when you do the big leaps, right? So you just those tiny steps, right, that will get you there. Ladies, don't go anywhere. We have been talking with our cultural ambassadors, Miss Clarendon Festival Queen 2022, Sheri-Gaye Johnson, and first runner-up Sasha-Kae Bernard. And Sasha-Kae was laying it out earlier, right? Her role is the event that the Sheri-Gaye is not available to fulfill her role, then you see Sasha-Kae stepping up to carry out the functions, especially at the parish level, right? So there are a lot of activities coming up,
Yes.
especially with Jamaica 60. And so if you don't see Sheri-Gaye,
You will
you
definitely see
ought
Sasha.
to see Sasha-Kae, right? Or both of them at these different events. So that's how the cultural ambassador role works. So they're going to be doing a lot of, you would have done the visit to the mayor and all of those things before the coronation. Did you get a chance to do that?
Unfortunately, we didn't get the chance to do that. Not yet. Mm-mm.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure Miss Brown and Mr. Marshall and the team will organize that. In any event, you're gonna have to meet them, Costas
Right.
and the mayor at the different official events, anyways. So that will take care of that. A lot of activities coming up. How's the preparation going for the big show, Sheri-Gaye?
It's a lot of pressure on me. I'm very nervous because I'm very much intent on bringing back home the crown to Clarendon. So it's a lot of work. But
Jamaica
by God's
16.
grace
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
whatever His will is what will take place. So we just have to hope that me bringing back home the crown
And
is in
pray.
His will. Right.
Indeed, for Jamaica 60.
Right.
No, no pressure. Just ease and grace. Just ease and grace, Sheri-Gaye. That's what's gonna do it, okay? All
Yes.
right. And the work.
And the work.
And the work. Yeah, so Christy telling you you've got this.
Thank you.
You've got this. All right, ladies. Yes, you all did really well. And I told the judges that I would not want to be sitting in any other seat on the night because you ladies were just so phenomenal.
Thank you.
Thank
Really
you.
phenomenal. All right, stay put. We are gonna switch gears now, and we are gonna bring on our Governor General, I believe, Initiative Ambassador, former JN Bank Youth Ambassador, and we're gonna share the rest of the titles and the roles in a little bit in the person of Christina Blake. Christina, welcome to the Serenity Resource Connector space.
Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome, awesome. Uh, Christina was originally scheduled to be first in the lineup, but the script got flipped a little bit, and I know God is very intentional because Christina was confirmed to be on this episode many about a month ago. Christina,
Yes.
probably a month ago, Christina was confirmed, and I was searching for the right combination of youth in action in Clarendon to put in the space with Christina. And when I was sitting there and I saw the ladies on the evening of the show, and Christina was right there as part of the production team. And I was like, look at God orchestrating everything. So that's how we have this combination, because when you look at the flyer and you're wondering, cultural ambassadors and all of that, it all came together. And Christina's mom, Mrs. Pauline Henry Blake, also happens to be not just a proud mom, but the chair for the Clarendon Cultural Committee of the JCDC. I'm not getting the title right now, but you know what I'm talking about. The JCDC Parish Cultural Committee, Christina's mom, Pauline Henry Blake, and see she's sending up her fire in the chat. I would too, Mrs. Blake, and I know where Christina got this heart for service from, because I've observed Mrs. Henry Blake serving over the years, um, grooming the different batch of ladies over the years and she does it with poise and grace. And Christina, I've known her for quite a bit, coming to the different rehearsals and all of that. Christina, before we get into the conversation, how did you feel on the night of the coronation for 2022, being a part of the competition for all these years and now serving in the different areas to support the rest of the team?
Well, I've been attending the show for a very long while, and so to be a production assistant this time around, I felt very honored, and the ladies were extremely impressive. I know a few of them from high school and, their involvement within the university space. And so I think it was a really great production, and I'm really happy to have been a part of it. And having gone to the competition for so many years, I was really looking forward to it this year. And it had been different because of COVID last year, but it was a really great production, and I was happy to be a part of it and see how impressive our youth from Clarendon are.
Indeed, well said. And I am, as I told you before, I'm just super proud of you. As so many of us are, right? So it's really great that you are in this spot where you can share, because many persons might not have realized that you were actually a part of that production team on the night, actively involved, and all of that, in addition to your role as Governor General, I believe, Initiative Ambassador. Right. But before we get there, talk to us about your role as JN Bank Youth Ambassador. How did you become a youth ambassador for JN Bank?
Well, I'm actually very happy that this series is about inspiring youth, because I was actually inspired by my former deputy head boy at the time, who was a chief JNW ambassador. And I remember being at an event at UWE, and I saw him. He was promoting the products and services of the JN Bank. And as always, I like to take up space. And I was a first year student, undergrad. So I started to ask questions. I wanted to know everything about the program. I found it very fascinating. And he would tell me, and he said the recruitment would commence in March. At this time, it was about November of the previous year, and I started to write my New Year's resolutions from that time. And I was very intentional about becoming a JNW ambassador. This is one of the opportunities that I definitely planned for, because many of them weren't planned for. But I told myself that I wanted to become a JNW ambassador. And so as soon as recruitment commenced, I sent in my video application, stepping outside of my comfort zone, because one of the requirements was that you would submit a creative video showing the recruiters how you would promote the products and services of the group. And I sent in my video, and there were so many stages of the application process, actually. So after submitting the video and it being approved, I then had to get votes. And so I had to send out my video and encourage people to vote. I mean, I sent the video everywhere. I messaged people from church, people from school, teachers from
Right.
high school. I was very intentional about becoming an ambassador. I said I can't just stop at this stage, and I amassed the required number of votes and eventually went on to the interview stage. And my resume and application, they were reviewed, and I commenced orientation, and it has been a 2-year journey thus far. And it's one of the best decisions I've made in my life as a young person to apply.
Awesome.
It didn't just come naturally. I had to put in the work, and I'm happy I did.
Indeed. So what have been the highlight of the journey so far?
The highlight of the journey so far would have been the opportunity to become employed within the group. Many young people are of the impression that you need links and you need money to get into corporate. But being a JNWA ambassador allowed me the opportunity to put myself out there and become acquainted with the group. It gave me my first real life experience of the corporate world here in Jamaica. So definitely I've been employed by various subsidiaries within the group, JN Fund Managers for investments, JN Money Services Limited for remittances. I've been a campus ambassador. I've served within many of the subsidiaries of the group. And another highlight for me would have been becoming team lead. I was granted the position of team lead, which saw me overseeing all the other ambassadors who were students of the University of the West Indies. And so that would have been a highlight, because having served 1 year in the program, I must have impressed the recruiters for them to take me on for a second year as team lead.
Indeed. That's a big deal. Christina, you are a big deal.
Thank you.
Amazing. This is what I'm talking about. Clarendon Youth in Action, right? And what Christina just shared, I remember sharing it, not in the same word, that you can get different opportunities, not because of the money, the amount of money you have or your parents have, or those. It's just about you being you, because it's you serving, because being a JN Youth ambassador is not a paid position, is it, Christina? It's not a
You
paid
get a stipend,
stipend, right?
but for the most part, it is a lot to balance with school.
Indeed. But that's one of the things that all the guests who have been on this in this series have in common. You have been able to manage all these different things along with your studies, and they've opened doors for you in different areas because you were able to get a scholarship. Tell us about the scholarship that you received to go and study law in overseas.
Right. The scholarship to study at the Birmingham Law School was funded by the European Commission. However, the JN Group was very impactful in, posting it in their corporate communications and supporting me because while overseas studying, I was still serving in the capacity as team lead. And so this was a great experience for me. I did family law, intellectual property law, and employment law in the United Kingdom. And
Wow.
so that I believe makes it better for me as an aspiring lawyer. And there's so much to learn because of the influence that UK law has on Caribbean law.
Indeed. There you go. Service opening up doors. All right. Yvonne Mitchell. Congratulations, Miss Blake. The sky's the limit. Keep going. All right. There's no stopping these powerhouses. No stopping, nothing stopping them, right? Because they're very intentional. If you notice the trajectory of their journey, Governor General's Achievement Awardee 2019, that came out of what, Christina?
I was conferred that award because of my performance in the CSEC and CAPE examinations at the Glenmuir High School, coupled with my active community involvement and leadership. I was Students' Council Vice President, Students' Council President, Deputy Head Girl. I represented Glenmuir at the Model United Nations Conference. I was a member of the Spanish quiz team, president of debate, and I was participating in so many other activities. So because of my active involvement and my achievements at the CSEC and CAPE level, I was conferred the Governor General's Achievement Award.
There we go again. I told you it's something that connects all these ambassadors, their ability to manage all these different aspects of who they are as a Jamaican woman, right? As you take up space, because this is a big thing now about taking up space, but not just taking up space to make noise, but to be very intentional about your voice, lending your voice to things that you care about in the interest of others, because it's always about serving. That's one of the essential things, right? They tell us a little about the World Model United Nations. What was
The
that
World
about?
Model United Nations, it was a conference, an annual conference where there are delegates from across the world, and we discuss and debate on pressing social issues. At the time, my group, we were charged with having a discussion around climate change. And so there are many interesting topics: youth development, economic development, ending global poverty. And so it was a great way for young people and other persons across the world to discuss and share their views. And we had to formulate policy papers. So we had to make proposals as to how governments across the world can have a meaningful impact in these different areas.
Wow. You see, youth have a voice. And these ladies are making their voice heard in different spaces, both locally and internationally. Great stuff. Great stuff. Right. In your role as, I believe, ambassador, what what is the role in the parish really?
The role in the parish is mainly to undertake social intervention campaigns or programs. And as an ambassador, I tend to do many community involvement activities not only in Clarendon, because we are an ambassador for the Governor General. While we're centered in Clarendon, we do activities outside of Clarendon. And so I did a mentorship program for students living in Augustown.
Okay.
And so we assisted these students in preparing for their PEP examinations. And at the more local level at Clarendon, I participate in, at the peak of COVID, we did distributions of care packages to the more vulnerable within the parish. And my way to becoming an IBI ambassador is a very unconventional way that we can discuss later. But it has really, like you said, we didn't have to push the door. I didn't have to push the door. The opportunities came because I am that type of person, very passionate about volunteerism and helping others. And I don't make a record of the service that I do, but I do hope that I've touched the lives of many in Clarendon.
I'm pretty sure you have. Pretty sure you have some that you may never ever meet, right? And this is another space because when you share like
No,
this the different areas, then you're able to touch others without even being in the same space as they are, just by sharing openly how you've been able to. Because part of the thing is that we hear that, oh, Christina has achieved all of these different accolades and so on. But what is it that she did? How did she get to where she's at? How was she able to go to New York? Because sometimes people share that they've been able to visit 5, 6, 7 different countries. But how were they able to do that? And a big part of it is really in what you do to help others. And there are others who are always looking on because a number of the, I believe, ambassadors, there are others who recommended them for the award. So that's basically it, and that's a part of the central part of this, the different stories in terms of just being there to serve others, following those dreams, and even as you're checking off dreams, the dreams are actually impacting others intentionally sometimes, sometimes unintentionally. So proud of you, ladies. Right, Christina, we can't wrap without asking you about what ignited your passion for law and finance, that combination.
I've always thought that the law and finance, they both run the world and we can't live without them. I mean, for law, my decision to study law is mainly because of how multidisciplinary the area is. There is no there is no field that you don't have to cover in law. I mean, from studying medical law, you're introduced to medicine. From studying
So,
personal injuries, there are many mathematical calculations and accounting that is involved. And overall, it is just that field where you are challenged to learn and to know a lot. And for finance, I would say very simply, the passion for that came about just by the need to make money. And that is what encouraged me to start my business in sixth form and then encouraged me to become an ambassador for a financial institution. So I do believe that you can't have one without the other, and it is these are two areas that really run society, and we can't do without them. So those are some of the factors that influence my passion for law and finance.
amazing. Talk about being intentional. I love it. I love it. All right, let's bring on back these other queens to join us in the space. Welcome back, ladies. As all right, as we are in the final leg of the this episode, I'm sure we're gonna have to have this discussion, another discussion, because there's so more that you all could share to help to inspire other young people to and that's part of the purpose for this particular platform so that we can help others to understand that this world is really this our stage, not just the little corner that we're in, because all we need to do is to be our best self in those spaces that we're in, and we're able to move out and take up space in the wider parish, country, and the world, right? Especially Sheri-Gaye. Sheri-Gaye going to represent Jamaica as our ambassador. She's going to move on up to being our ambassador, going off to some foreign country to speak other language and so on, and being our black, green, and gold girl over there. Indeed. Ladies, you are representing well, and we just want to encourage you to continue. And before you leave, I want each of you to share what's on your heart to inspire other young people and even the young at heart. As I said before, we all need some inspiration, right? All right. So, Christina, continue. Phenomenal indeed. Yes.
My 2 cents would be take advantage of all the opportunities that are available to you, and you haven't lost or won without ever trying. I would say definitely try and be confident in your abilities. And I mean, the opportunities are there. Don't sit back and complain. Just take advantage of them and be confident that you will succeed.
Well said. Sasha-Kae?
So as Christina said, my little 2 cents is that it's okay to not always have it all figured out. It's absolutely fine. Just take one step at a time. It will all come to pass. And to me, I always try to just get things done and over with. Don't shy away, just do it. That's what I'm saying. Just do it. All those dreams, all those plans that you're writing down in the book and not accomplishing because you're afraid or this and that reason, forget it. Just do it.
Just do it. All right. Sheri-Gaye.
And to end with my little 2 cents now, I would say be willing to take a chance on yourself. We don't like Sasha-Kae said, we're not going to always have it figured out, and sometimes fear gets the best of us. But be willing to take a chance on yourself. There are many opportunities out there. And even if you don't have 100% confidence, or you may not feel like, I can compete with others, take that chance on yourself and commit your works to God. Make sure that whatever you're doing, it is with pure intentions, and trust you that you will see the rewards of the fruit of your labor. So that's my last 2 cents. Yes.
All right. Two cents gonna fill up that financial basket. And it's all come together. This I said it earlier that this promised to be an inspiring episode, and indeed it was. Yes, Sister Johnson, Sheri-Gaye, you're covered by God. Indeed, indeed, all covered in Jesus' name. Yes. So, ladies, thank you so much for sharing space here on with me on the Serenity Resource Connector. I'm sure that even after we are all gone, this episode will be there inspiring others. That's the beauty about this platform, right? Others will be inspired in years to come just by this conversation that we had in this space here and now. God is intentional, and you have all been moving very intentional, whether you realize it then or not. But based on what you have been sharing, you have been setting those goals and working towards them with intentionality, and they are manifesting. And just continue to give off the best of you as you, and because even as you grow, as you bloom, you're able to spread your pollens and just infuse flowers and life and light in the world around you. So just continue to let your light shine in whatever area that you're in. Thank you again for sharing space here with us. Thanks to all of those who joined the Longville Park Massive, the Clarendon Massive in general, the JCDC fan club, the Glenmuir High School choir, the Denby High School entourage, color blue, color red. That is not red. It's not red. What's the correct one? It's not red.
We do say color red, man. It's color red. Flagrance Veritatis Studio, burning with the
Okay.
zeal for
I don't
truth.
know, you're all very specific when it comes on to those things, you know.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, it's not red. What is it, Christina?
But we do say color red. It's burgundy, but we do say
It's
color red.
maroon.
Maroon. Yes,
Maroon.
maroon. I know you are all very specific when it comes on to that. It's not red, it's maroon. So, all right,
But we do have the running phrase, however, color red.
color red. All
Yeah,
right, especially for football.
definitely for football.
Right.
That's where it originated.
All right, and it's not blue. Color blue is Clarendon College, my school, and
Okay.
yes,
Yes,
and you
aqua free.
Aqua Pride. All
Yes.
right, no, I remember Aqua Pride for Denby. All right, we have to have a little excitement here, you know, in the space. All right, thank you again, ladies. And for those who are tuning in for the first time, please go ahead and subscribe and share this so others can see and hear what the ladies had to share and be inspired by it so that they too can step out and take up space in a positive way. Thank you again. The Serenity Resource Connector goes live each Thursday at 8 p.m. On first Thursdays, we have Culture Corner with JCDC. On second Thursdays, we have Community Safety and Security partnership with JCF Clarendon Division. Third Thursdays, it's the Year of Early Childhood Development partnership with the Early Childhood Commission. Fourth Thursdays, we look at local governance and development partnership with the Clarendon Municipal Corporation. And on fifth Thursdays, we do this again with another group of Clarendon Youth in Action. All right, so do stay tuned, share the information as we continue to encourage and inspire each other. God bless you all and continue to stay safe. Bye bye.